celebrate. Yeah. Well, this is a little bit overdue, but SmackDown's going to be airing on Friday, so I don't mind if I take a bit of a layaway because I'm fucking sick. I was fucking sick for the weekend. So, what happened on SmackDown? The draft happened on SmackDown, where we, of course, have to cover the list of at least 3 rounds of the WWE draft. Wow, this makes zero fucking sense. We had Samoa Joe on commentary when he should have been one of the surefire picks, being one of the most primitive and most talked about superstars for matches he had with Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, Kofi Kingston. He was in a title feud with Kofi Kingston. I understand it's forgettable, and Kofi Kingston's 6-month reign was pretty relevant, but fucking hell. At least that's something to talk about. They didn't ever think of guys that could change the business. They just thought, oh, we'll just get the most wrestler. And the number one pick of the WWE draft was Becky Lynch. Yet they had a match involving the Raw and SmackDown superstar Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns having a respectable match, one-on-one, whoever wins gets it, but by cause of disqualification, because the match was complete boringness and nobody cared that much about Rollins and Roman Reigns fighting, even though I liked the reversal and I liked the way he just tried to reverse the spear for the pedigree back at Money in the Bank 2016, last time you saw something like that happen, and I think he also did it in Battleground of the same year. Yet it ends off DQ with Bray Wyatt coming out of nowhere, intervening in the match, and causes a DQ. So first pick goes to Raw, yet Becky Lynch is your Raw Women's Champion. So obviously, thanks to belts are fucking colored for the representative brand, shouldn't be a bit obvious that, oh, I think the SmackDown Tag Team Champions should stay on SmackDown. No, I want to draft them to Raw. Like, that makes any sense to you? The only belts that could technically swap brands at times are going to be the mid-card belts that are in the United States or the Intercontinental. We don't even know if we're going to draft the Cruiserweight Champion or the 24/7 Championship to our brand. I think you should. Think you should have a bit more dynamicness other than SmackDown. I mean, the heavyweight tag in the women's division. Switch it up. Make a uniqueness of mid-carders go to SmackDown and let the Cruiserweights come to Raw. Or switch it up. It ended off DQ of Bray Wyatt. Thinks, they want to continue off the feud after a Hell in a Cell match ended in DQ. I need a second. It ended off DQ. Yes, a Hell in a Cell match ended in DQ. Off on a better note, there was Shorty Gable. They literally took the time when the dude already has a full name called Chad Gable, all because Baron Corbin has mocked his height. Almost any other wrestler mocked his height. Zelina Vega, Shelton Benjamin, and Chad Gable. That's only 3 people. Then Michael Cole started just immediately mocking him around. They had the same match they've been having for the last several weeks. Since the finals, since Hell in a Cell, and since a rematch they had after Clash of Champions. What's the point of having this match? The only intolerable thing I saw was that little hoist over a suplex after fucking Baron Corbin was stuck on all fours. Then reversal into the end of days, coming out of Corbin, winning clean. So, if you want me to read down the first round of the WWE draft, if I say it like Michael Cole, please smack me in the comment section. I won't mind. Just talk shit. I really don't care at this point. It's well deserved. Because if I sound like Michael Cole anytime I say WWE, I don't mind if you attack me with something. Call me a racial slur. Call me anything at this point. Because if I sound like Michael Cole anywhere in my life, I will allow you people to put hate comments on my comment section. You know why? Because I don't mind making a flaw and then wasting my valuable time, my editing work, and my recording time, so I can make an entire Huge rant, all because people nitpick on my videos, and I think of wasting 15 minutes on it. Whatever people have a problem with, instead of, improving on that. Because that makes me a good content creator. Other than that, I thought it was a weak ass draft. Like, they thought of fucking Lucha House Party goes to Raw, Drew McIntyre goes to Raw. Like, they're keeping the heavyweights on Raw when they're trying to keep like the surefire dudes on SmackDown. It's like, sure, whatever they can. Because other than that, the draft is still incomplete. So why couldn't you make the SmackDown a 3-hour special? I don't understand why you couldn't make this a 3-hour special. But 2016 SmackDown was for something that was going to change the company. Yet again, we made this a 2-hour SmackDown with very little storytelling, and the only positive thing that happened was making Bayley turn heel just because Charlotte's going to Raw. Kevin Owens is going to Raw, and Becky Lynch. Heavy Machinery stays on SmackDown. Bray Wyatt goes on SmackDown. So after Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt are done feuding, that obviously they're going to make Bray Wyatt lose, so we can just undervalue him more thanks to Universal titles obviously staying on Raw. I don't understand what's the point. I really don't. I don't understand what's the point of this entire draft. If it's just going to reshape the whole thing, the whole roster is still a fucking mistake. Lacey Evans goes to SmackDown. Ricochet goes to Raw. Braun Strowman heads to SmackDown, smartly. Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Still. Bray Wyatt's on SmackDown. Those are the surefire high-octane picks that are willing to change the WWE. The Revival heads to SmackDown. And I think those are good things. The Revival are, even though they're the most blandest, boringest tag team in the roster, they're still not that bad of wrestlers. They're incredibly gifted. They also had a promo involving Brock Lesnar. I mean, they also did the second round where it was Randy Orton to Raw, Sasha Banks to SmackDown, Ricochet to Raw, Braun Strowman to SmackDown. Bobby Lashley heads to Raw instead of SmackDown when they need more heavyweights. And, of course, they're going to keep on Ross because the Rusev is now involved with Lana. And obviously they want Lana to stay. So, yeah. I think they also had a third round. Corbin did beat Gable. Shorty Gable now. That's super stupid. Oh, God, this show was stupid. Next up, they had Bobby Lashley face and Cain Velasquez get some words in with him speaking in complete Spanish while the translator, Rey Mysterio, thinks he's fluent in both, comes around and you're saying blah, 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 I can beat you. And they brought up back off his UFC fight, how he even got that scar against Cain Velasquez. And Mysterio came out and promised to give Lesnar another scar and crown jewel for the WWE Championship. So 2 UFC guys are fighting for a belt that involves fake fighting. And Cain Velasquez has no wrestling experience. At least Ronda Rousey was against a woman that's incredibly green in the ring and a really experienced guy with Triple H in a match that's just supposed to get her popular with just her getting over by throwing these guys around. That's simple enough to get a new wrestler over, and it worked. It's just, you have Cain fucking Velasquez, and this is for their world belt, a belt that they haven't treated decently in a long time. They've let Jinder held it, they undervalued Bray Wyatt, the toppest guy they had with the most interesting character, squandered Hold it for at least a month before bringing it to Randy Orton. Give it to Jinder Mahal. Give it to Kofi Kingston. That's like bottom of the barrel. That's like Tori Wilson levels when she went to the Hall of Fame. And nobody even remembers Tori Wilson except the little feud she had with Dawn Marie and that she was literally fapping material for the Ruthless Aggression era. Almost every person on the women's roster was fapping material in the fucking Ruthless Aggression era. And you're telling me that, Cain Velasquez, he's the only person to strike fear into Brock Lesnar. And we know Brock Lesnar has faced literally any other level main eventer that is on the roster, except having a literal match against Braun Strowman that didn't end in DQ or interference. So that's retarded. I'm shocked Braun Strowman is still not gifted a rematch for the Universal title against Brock Lesnar, a guy he got screwed over against back at the Royal Rumble when he wrecked up Vince's limo and just got screwed over. And then Strowman got a stupid ass feud just a month ago, like September, against Seth Rollins, and then they had to defend both title belts and that dumb shit. Braun Strowman has gotten a weak ass here, and it's gotten when he's so big. He's so dominant. He's so fast. He's so fucking scary, and he's obviously a captivating guy to look at and can make anything feel intimidating. And you're telling me that this guy has more tag team belts than he does singles belt in his career? And I know the Street Profits were gonna get drafted because for the last several months, these niggas been on TV, going around endorsing themselves, endorsing NXT, losing the tag team titles twice against the Undisputed Era, and now they got drafted to I think Raw. No one cares about the Street Profits. Montez Ford and Darryl Dawkins, they're amazing athletes. They're good wrestlers, and they are really captivating in the ring. But that crap NXT shit does not translate that well to main roster status. Look at EC3. Look at Shinsuke and see how he came from Royal Rumble winner into holding the most irrelevant belt in the roster right now with the Intercontinental title. Sami Zayn, people don't even remember he was NXT champion. Finn Balor's back on NXT, and as much as that sounds like a demotion, kind of a positive how much Finn Balor's career has been going. Breezango is back on NXT. You don't progress when you're on NXT. Oh, God. The only person that have a relatively well-done success is either Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Daniel Bryan. And I don't think that counts since these guys already had a lot of experience because they were wrestling before it was even called NXT. It was called FCW. Some of them still wrestle in Jim Crockett's promote back when Jim Cornette was running another developmental place for WWE talent. So that makes no damn sense for a world title match involving two UFC niggas. That's stupid. Then we had a 6-man tag match. They also endorsed breast cancer awareness versus... Why not a cure? You're working with a multi-billion-dollar corporation for breast cancer survivors. Instead, I'm not going to go through this because I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. I just hate whenever they do this breast cancer awareness stuff because people are aware about breast cancer. It's like one of the most common diseases involving a woman that can be severely terrible for their body. And you're telling me that we don't put the money up for a cure, for more chemotherapy, or at least any other technology we can use to get rid of this stuff? It's always awareness just so we can wear pink and we can sell more merchandise. It's kind of fucked up if you don't ask me. Just look at the viewers, tweet some of the wrestlers, tweet the fans because they know this is horseshit and they keep doing this every year because this keeps racking up WWE this, and this is why they're on Fox. The LC faced off against the New Day in a 6-man tag match. And before we even go into this, third round of the WWE draft, Alexa Bliss goes to Raw, Lacey Evans goes to SmackDown, Kevin Owens goes to Raw, Revival goes to SmackDown, and Natalya stays on Raw because Lacey Evans is on SmackDown. Okay, never mind. That feud is done because they had that last man standing match. It was a good last man standing match. Like, second half was pretty fun. But other than that, I think the feud is done because if you go through a last man standing match, it concluded. But if you go into Hell in a Cell match, you end up Oh wow. Sorry. Jesus Christ, I'm getting more fucking salty than a pregnant side piece. Jesus. Whatever. What happened in this match? Oh, right. The New Day won off a pretty good barrage of moves. Off the main event, we of course had the shoulder tackles, the OC thinking that they're tough, even though they lose every fucking week unless it matters to them, or else they haven't got enough screen time, or they haven't won a match in like 4 weeks. And then we have like a good barrage of moves, a good reversal, boom drop got reversed. I think the Styles combo, the phenomenal combo got reversed. Pele kick got reversed, and then a huge ass Trouble in Paradise to win the match. Because Kofi Kingston got that WWE title juice, even though AJ Styles held it for even longer and has more title reigns and beaten more popular guys like John Cena. Period. Like, you can't go farther than John Cena in this current day and age. I'm being serious. I mean, there is Randy Orton. Kofi did beat Randy Orton, but he ain't John Cena, so suck a dick. New Day wins. It devalues the revival of even being a threatening tag team. I mean, being a threatening faction other than we're finding another reason to do the click thing because the only way we're over and relevant is Bullet Club. And the Bullet Club ripped off the NWO and DX because we're smarks and marks and fags. And oh, what the hell is AEW? Oh god. I think they still keep the elite motifs for Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks because that is the most popular part about their wrestling. Super kicks and a lot of high flying moves. And some super kicks and some splashes. Otherwise, we have pretty good, a decent finish for the tag team for the 6-man tag. It was good and it was a good reversal, but no one cares since these matches aren't going to mean anything until the draft is done. That is going to conclude on Raw. So the main event of the show was SmackDown Women's Title defense. That was involving Charlotte Flair facing off against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Title. And Bayley came, interestingly enough, picking up a weapon and ripping off all the flowed arm inflatable tube men. And shockingly enough, has a look that makes sure she looks like my auntie or that little bitch from Space Chimps. Yeah, she looks that bad. Other than that, still thick. So nothing to complain here. Other than that, this match was nearly the same as what they had from Hell in a Cell, except they made Bayley have finished via roll up. We're grabbing Charlotte's tights, coming around with a small package, and then getting a fucking 3 count, and then denouncing herself the Universal Champion off a match that wasn't that memorable for Charlotte's 10th reign as being WWE Women's Champion, combining her Raw and SmackDown. Unify these titles. I thought Becky was gonna do that the time she won them back at WrestleMania when she beat Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. Something as big as that for title matches, and you unify them in the same time because you know how much a SmackDown Women's title sucks. And you think making a heel turn when Becky Lynch turned heel and then won the women's title like later in that time frame made her more relatively important as like a part of the show, or made the women's belt even more profitable? Girls would rather still hold the Divas title or the old school oval looking women's title than look at those things that are just ripoffs of the WWE World title and the Universal title. Just get that all together and you get complete crap. But it was a shock to see Bayley turn heel, completely turn a 180, completely ignore all the hard work she went through. And of course, let's get into the 4th round of the draft. That was the Viking Raiders going to Raw, Lucha House Party going to SmackDown, Nikki Cross heading on Raw so she can stay with Alexa Bliss. And because they're SmackDown, they're WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, so it wouldn't matter either way because these titles are both unibrand, so they can go either way. Heavy Machinery goes to SmackDown. Street Profits head to Raw. And the next rounds of the draft will head tonight on Raw. So either way, It was good to see Bayley turn heel. This match really didn't change much of her attitude or anything on this. This was a big night because it is trying to change a bit of the momentum over going wild card into DQ of a finish of in Hell in a Cell. Most of the roster not getting that much love, a lot of controversy over most of the roster. Corey Graves kind of being a disloyal cunt, and a lot of stuff, and a lot of relationships, and a lot of bullshit, and no good booking, and an irrelevant over 10 reigns as women's champion. Charlotte barely had anything memorable other than the first time she held the Divas title and the first time she held the Raw the WWE, the new women's championship, and was undefeated on pay-per-view, but kept hot-potatoing the belt with Sasha Banks. That's the only memorable times I remember Charlotte as being a good, blatant women's champion. She's still a tremendous wrestler, but there's no other storytelling that goes around with her being women's champion. Thinks she literally wrestles nearly the exact same people. So what's the point? This doesn't prestige anything other than they're trying to make her close to her father. And I know Andrade is trying to get in that ass just so he can get a world title opportunity. And it's blatant, nigga. Nobody wants to go with this WNBA inflatable, big titted, ugly, transvestite looking bitch. You understand what I'm saying? SmackDown gets a 4 out of 10. The booking is off. No one cares about Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar unless you think it's going to be, a work, shoot, wrestling match that they're maybe going to make Cain Velasquez win because they're maybe going to make him like a primitive part of the show when he's obviously going to be a part-timer like Brock. And the draft, I think it had some on and off moves. I would go more into it, but maybe that will come when I'm completely like healthy and I have a lot more to say because obviously I'm still coming out of a tough sore throat and a headache. So, yeah, the wrestling was completely boring and it didn't conclude or continue to any wrestling feuds. The Bayley heel turn was nice, but really way past overdue. Like Bayley's little character change back from like SummerSlam of last year. And Charlotte completely devalued being a double-digit champion. That's completely stupid. And it doesn't show any character change for her at all. And this draft doesn't change any part of the show, except maybe going to cut off some feuds that are already come into play, like Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt, that are still going to be feuding, but for a belt that's on Raw. Or are not. So the point of this is stupid. The show was stupid. And whoever thought otherwise, you're beautiful. I want to thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and tell me how you guys think about your picks on the draft. Maybe on the Raw review, I'll go more in depth, even though this is going to be like last week's Raw review. I just want to get my take on that because I know I'm a bit off schedule, and I wanted to get my takes in for Week 5 of the NFL season. Hopefully, you guys like the review and join the GST show.